Hello, everyone, and we are live after the short countdown. This is the Event Success Insight podcast with me, Krista Skodra. Welcome, and here in this podcast, we are discussing the latest trends with influential thought leaders, professionals, and academics in the event industry from Finland and from around the world as well. This podcast is powered by the leading event success, a platform that enables you to create meaningful encounters and measure them with the unique experience value score, which is, as you might know by now, a North Star metric in measuring event success. Find out more at eventsuccessmanagement.com and lyyti.com. We are streaming this show live to Lyyti's 3 platforms, so Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Today, with me in this very special episode, I have the pleasure to an old friend of mine. So Mr. Risto Oksanen is here with me in the studio.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Risto. We met a few years ago. I can tell to the listeners and viewers as well that we were both judges at Event Awards, right?
That's right. That's.
Do you remember? This is where we first met.
Yeah, true. And that was something like 17 or so. 18.
I was a judge before that. You must have been there also, right?
No.
Was this the first year?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we.
I don't remember it exactly, but
it has to
be a few years back.
Yeah, a few years back. So back then, Risto Oksanen, you were the marketing director at the Veikkausliiga, if I remember correctly. So
that's correct. Yes.
Right. So that was the Finnish Premier Football League, and the Veikkaus is the national Finnish betting.
Yeah,
organization. So
they were our and still are the title sponsor of the league.
Right.
And I worked there for 8 years as marketing director.
And now you have your own company.
Yep.
Right. So Risto is the CEO and partnership director of Red Carpet Brand Alliances.
True.
So before we go into the company, today's topic, future of event sponsors topic. I have tons of questions. Let's try to give some really concrete and ideas from your experience. But first, I'd like to have your to hear around a bit in a nutshell. What brought you here to where you are today, leading? And of course, what are the highlights of your career so far?
Yeah, this is a question which makes me feel old because now I'm turning to 60.
Right.
So, but anyway, yeah, when I started in, as we call it in Finnish, ATT sector early in 80s and 90s, and arranged events already then. The world was very different. And then I came to sports industry early 90s. I was a managing director for 2 ice hockey clubs in Finland. From there, I came into the world of sponsorship. And the sponsorship has been my daily bread since.
Right.
I've been working with the paper industry as well, international, and participated very many years, and so have got the view how the event works worldwide as well. And then I'm 2 months chairman of the Sponsorointi Tapahtumat ry
Association,
which is a Finnish association for sponsorship and events, and also founding member of Tapahtumateollisuus. Because when the pandemic came, we saw that this is supposed to be started now. And then I'm a board member of the ESA, which is the European Sponsorship operating in London, but covering the whole Europe. So that's where I'm now. And the Red Carpet, RCBA, as we working both for brands and create a strategic long partnerships for brands starting from their needs, and also right holders. We provide tools how to fund their projects, and sometimes participating also that work.
Mm-hmm. I would say what we hear, you are the person to talk about event sponsorship here in Finland and in the European level as well. So I know Finnish people don't like to brag, but
no, I'm a person. Talk about that. There are many people. There are very talented people in Finland. I'm just a person.
A person who is active, and as you said, we are throughout the your work as well, both hands-on and the work associations. I think that's become
but I don't want to be a besserwisser. I have my view. They are not always correct.
Exactly. So that's why you're invited here in the Event Success Insights podcast, so you can share your views as that you are. So you did speak about the Red Card Alliances and the work you do there. You touch upon about those two and different target groups and stakeholders. So would you like to explain what is the unique value you deliver to companies, and how about the right holders? How about event organizers who have something of value in their hands? So and then we and go to the bottom of it, and how partnerships are born, how the synergies are created, the brand image, and so on. But let's think first of the two very concrete target groups that you have to please and cater to their needs. And I would add to this equation the participants, the event participants at the end. But let's start by the two concrete target groups that you're serving.
Yeah, it's always about understanding the needs of the brands and knowing the insights, so that we don't want to waste people's time on nonsense or just offering, okay, we have this and that, and though if we don't know what the brand is needing for their marketing, and then we can make very accurate proposals and see who right holders could be okay for this particular brand.
A good match.
Yeah, good match, exactly. And it's the same thing with also right holders side. We work with film industry, all the main producing companies. We work with sports. We have plenty of right holders there, and we work with culture and events as well. Like now we have we have many. But anyway, there also is the key to understand who could be the potential partners and see what is the offering. And then if we don't see that, then it doesn't make sense to waste anyone's time, like I said. But that comes with a lot of contacts, knowing the company experience also from the past, what works, what doesn't. And that's the key, that we have to have a trust in the market that we can get through, because nowadays it is extremely hard to reach people. It's somehow after the pandemic, first it was easier to get people on hold, but then now it's really tricky to reach people, even though we have all these technical tools. And this is something.
Why is that? Now we're jumping to another topic. Do you think that are people more selective, or that they've been bombarded and many people are trying to reach them, or they're deciding not to be bothered, or what causes this?
I think it's a mixture of all this. It depends on the individual themselves, how they decide. And sometimes it's frustrating, especially if you already started something and then you are just being ghosted. And that's something that, I try to avoid in whoever is selling me something. Just to say no would make everyone's life easier. And we had a seminar in ESA, in the European Sponsorship Association. We had the main marketing decision maker in Coca-Cola.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he always answers, because if someone's made the effort and thinks that they have something to offer, so at least this is the least I can do.
Exactly.
Even though everyone knows that 99 point some percent will be no, but still to get this in consideration, that's very important.
Exactly. And now this brings to my mind, as you might know, when I was also judged there at Eveno Awards, it was with my capacity of the being an event teacher in higher education in Haaga-Helia.
Yep.
And actually my next guest is Monika Birkle from Haaga-Helia, event management and lecturer, my former colleague. And for instance, when our students even go out and reach out to brands and companies, as you mentioned, the Coca-Cola example, obviously, you have to reply. Whether it's student request and they're making an on-campus event that they want ownership opportunity, whether it's whoever. So it goes down to proper manners even.
Yeah.
So, but if we think from the point, I understand that those big brands are bombarded. Perhaps there's a lot of requests that way. Obviously, they have to be professional and send some short replies. But in terms of the right holders, people who have something special in their hands or something that they would like to bring to the forefront, to stage a great experience, and they're seeking some funds. How do you work with them and trying to understand who would be a good brand or to match with the what you're doing?
Again, this is about knowing what you are doing and who would be the match, and it's also doing the job before the first contact. So you have to show that just a random contact. I just didn't take your name from the list and decided to, but you have to show we have considered for you for your this and that brand of this and that reasons, and this is something that we should talk about. And then when the brands understand, okay, there is something more than just a random contact, you can get the contact. People don't understand how much work there's in a sales prior to contact, and this is something that we have traditionally had a lot of sales taking a list and just bombarding anyone, and this is causing the problem for all of us. But this is how we work, and we have to see that okay, this brand would be these reasons. Without that, we don't take any contact.
You said about the OAS techniques, because sponsorship has a dirty connotation, and it's a little bit dirty term.
Yeah.
I'm not of the term. I myself started at age 14 hosting a radio show back in Greece, and I did have sponsors, 10-year-old teenager behind the mic. So with their help and partnership, we did great things together, and I had some pocket money as well, and they had time. But for instance, because now in today's podcast topic is the future sponsorship. Let's go a little bit back and talk about the past and the current stage of state of event sponsorship. What do you hear the most when people hear the word sponsorship? What comes to their mind? What do they think of it? Or at least in the past, and then we can see like what are the new ways to do really successful event sponsorship and partnerships.
First of all, that's a never-ending discussion. I arranged a trade fair in '96, sponsor contacts here in Helsinki, and it was an issue then, and it never stopped. And it's the issue everywhere. It was a big issue in UK, but now it's becoming. Everyone wants to talk about doing partnership and whatever names you might come up with, and the marketing people are very handy to get for old things.
That's true.
But what I defined sponsorship is always partnership, but always sponsorship. It's not just supporting without getting anything back. It's something that you invest and you get return.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then of the past, how it was also when you were arranging events. So it was kind of easy. You called people, they answered, and that because they didn't see who is calling. Or SMS came into this time when I started, and so on. So it was pretty straightforward type of doing. But then the whole way of business has changed so much, and and this is very, I appreciate that you past where have we been?
Yeah, where from? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because you could predict the future without knowing your past, and in the past, totally different than they are. Of course, there are all kinds of things. You have HR, you have marketing events, and so on, so on. In the past, it was quite common that alcohol was involved in events. And especially if you had something like a paper industry event, it was more like have to give drinks for your clients and you have to show something that they want to be. And it was very sexist, and anything that if you would arrange event like back then,
Today
it would be so
tasteless and
exactly
bad publicity, let's say that way. Opposite.
Yeah, I was in a trade fair in 2019, and it was still as it was in Finland in early or late 1990s. But still,
so the world is changing. Some parts of the world are changing, perhaps in a faster speed than others. If we think about Finland and Europe as such, as you're saying that the events have been changing over the decade years, and then the mentality and the mindset of the people was different. The technology has accelerated some or hindrance to events or helped in other. But when we come to the past couple of years with the pandemic, what is the impact in event sponsorship as such? And then if you to explain, where do you see they're going? Do you see something that paints a picture for the future?
Yeah, even sponsorship, it happened pretty much like with all the events as well. So everything was shut down, and companies. It's normal when something happens. One of the first actions that they just stop doing, or at least
they think it's dead weight.
Yeah, that's a dead weight, and look, okay, we can just wait with this. It doesn't kill us not to market for a while, and so they waited to see where things are going. So, but on the other hand, now always if you think of the trends, and when you have crises, the trends normally get strengthened. The same trends that you had there has not vanished, and it's the same going on again. And technical development has been very fast now during the past 2 years because of the need. It was we had the tools, but no one, they were not used in this as they are now, and we haven't seen this development. And this also opened new possibilities for sponsors to reach their customers. And the pandemic came, and when you organize, you turn into online. And what we saw, for example, in our asset, all of a sudden, bang, we had 5 times more people in our than before. But the pandemic just kept on going, and you saw that people are not attending anymore. And now
they're fatigued with all those meetings, online meetings. There's Zoom, Teams fatigue, webinar fatigue.
There's nothing new. So you have to have extremely interested to get anyone in there. And even then, which is a sign of the times, is that show has increased drastically. So people just sign in because and then 20% of And this is some challenge for the future to see going to offline events or live events and hybrid. So we have to get to prevent that, and I hope Lyyti has come up with some ideas.
All right, we come to that. Before that, there's a lot of work being done prior to calling companies and asking for partnership or partnerships. So I would like to ask you, because for me, what's very interesting is branding and very interested. I also did my master thesis in Sibelius in the impact of big culture events and their or sports events as I was working in Athens. So I was very interested what happens to the destinations when the cities or the destinations or regions are hosting spotlight events. With the same logic, I think when it comes to event sponsorship, there has to be a certain over of positive image from the one to the other and vice versa. So what tools do you use to do this image analysis? How do you work in your company in order to come up and say your event, if we focus on events as such, so your event has this image, the target audience, it has this and this and this, and therefore this would be a good brand for this partnership also because they have similar target audiences and the brand is positive and it has positive connotations and so forth. Or how do you work? Like if you tell us the really concrete analysis and the work as you did before you come up and say, I pick up the phone and I contact some people from my network.
It's here if you have an event that has taking place already a few years back. We are working with the sponsor inside, and we get a lot of information from the people and for how is the business developed in that certain. So it's also serving the cities, organizing these, participating on those events. Then we have new events like now we have Urbaanit Kansantanssi Festival coming here in Helsinki, which never been held before. We don't have that data beforehand. We have that it would be urban people coming up where
kinds of people, so the demographics and
but that's still an idea of that. But then it's important that we start also the research from the first events. We will have this information for the future, and we will see that if we were right or not. But you're absolutely right that it has a tremendous effect on the city. So if we think in Finland, there are many favors like Seinäjoki and Tangomarkkinat, and many of these events are fixed to that particular place.
When let's say if we come back to your red carpet brand alliance, let's say that I'm planning to organize an event here in the capital region with certain fit and ideas, and I come to your company. And how does it work? How do you help clients? What is the process? Walk us through a little bit. Like, why would somebody come to you and what kind of help and services you bring, or vice versa? If I have a company and a brand and I'm looking for opportunities to increase also image as well. And with that in mind, what are taking when they're sponsoring events? What is it in for them? And then obviously for the event organizer, certain funds and the certain revenue, but what else? They cannot just anybody, right? First of all, what services you offer, and what is it in for any of the parties involved?
you think of the event organizer, if you decide to do that, what we do is analyze from the sponsorships that how what kind of target group are we talking, how can we reach them, what kind of brands could be a good alliance for this particular event. Then we make together a marketing plan and see who we are approaching. There a need for breweries or so on, just the basic things first, and then see what else can we do there, and also makes the specification for different areas. How can we bring in sponsors? What services can we offer? And then from it's a bit different. Then we have to see brands they have and what other and how they would particular target group, and then we see if this particular matches with this brand. But with the brands, we say that we can take the load because like it's a whole lot of contacts coming in trying to sell to sponsorship for brands. But we do also that we are the filter in between, so we reply everyone who is contacting and give a very friendly and professional answer. First, that they will then, when they keep on doing that they will tools to be more active,
successful.
Exactly.
The next time.
Exactly, and then we come to the questions: why did you do this brand? What were you thinking? And then I can say, okay, maybe this next time fix that a bit, and then you. But anyway, then we do a list for the company for all the contacts what we have, and then our idea that okay, these are something that you could have a bit closer look at, and then there is all the rest. But also important because if you think of just a junior football club, normally you put someone who has kind of power to call to the companies, and you might even lose business by being rude or by not answering the persons who has power, economical power for the companies. So then they might think, okay, keep your business, I take my business somewhere else if you give a answer. So this is also affecting the brand or the company image in general, which should not be unneeded.
So you come in between and you offer and a filter, but you provide that knowing how to talk, what to say, how professionally and polite you are, and saying the right things with the right in the right way.
Exactly.
Not causing any harm to any side, to anyone's image.
Just keeping that. And then of course projects goes on, and we decide of the project that we are starting with. And we are participating, planning what should we do jointly and together, and then see that we should do that, how we measure what targets. I enough the targets. Why are you doing things? And that's the key for everything. If you find targets, you can't evaluate the results either.
What are you measuring against? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Are events who sponsorship deals more successful than others? Is a reason events to be successful their sponsorship or the stronger the ship opportunities and deals, the more success they're having?
Well, I would say that the most successful sponsorships are ones that the also being able to work together with the sponsor, also bring them into marketing. So it's never for the sponsor that, okay, I just make me happy. It doesn't work that way in sponsorship. You have to participate in marketing, and the more you are in the project and making sure that everything happens, the better results you will get. In the past, when I was Veikkausliiga, I even had this that okay, here we have the contract, there's the investment, and then we have this penalty money, which is anything. I will invoice this, and we are doing the utilization of the sponsorship, because without utilizing the deal, you don't get results. In normally, sometimes but normally, the more you are investing, also utilize the project you are in, the better results. So you learn more how to do it next time. What have to adjust to make this sponsorship success.
And you did say about certain targets and metrics. So investment. So sponsorship is an investment. It's
Exactly.
a time investment. It's a monetary investment from both sides. Time investment from both sides. I mean, but from the sponsor, it's a monetary both. So how do you measure, for instance, what what is important for us? Is it do you see any trend emerging regarding, as we said, the future of event sponsors? Are brands now interested more creative events, very out of the box? Are they now think to more virtual hybrid? Is there special that are now focusing, as you see, as a general trend? Of course, they have their own specific wishes at that time, but is there trends that they're emerging now from your experience, from the brand, that what are they looking now into sponsor?
Well, it's all depending on the brand. If you have an industrial brand like Wärtsilä or UPM 10, or they are totally different needs than if you take the consumer brand. And yes, there is a trend. All these new things, we are extended reality, artificial intelligence, all these things,
sustainability, values. So
that's not even a choice anymore. That has to be equality, gender equality, and all this must be. It's never anymore a choice. Okay, we choose to be as you have to be if you are doing something. But all these things, new technologies, we will see, because there's always who want to be the first, and that's good. And they introduce new things to the public, the more intention. They're not always successful with that, but the more brave you are, there is a good chance that you can really take the cream.
Tell us now, Risto Oksanen with me. This is a Success Insight podcast, the future of event sponsorship. This is what we're discussing. So I want to ask you, tell us brand alliances and synergies that you have created, that they were forward thinking, and that was one brand that really saw the future and took a great stand and really grabbed the opportunity and did something that great visibility, great results. Do you have top of your mind anything you'd like, or you could mention a couple of things, a couple of examples?
Great. This is a very, very good question. It's also related on time when this has been done. But moment, I would say that there has well, I would not say exactly the one particular project. What we've done in Veikkausliiga, what I liked very much was with who came this censorship. And one thing, it requires investment, also time. Many brands, you don't have people to do that. So it's important to get resources outside, always outsourced. But what we did then, and it was really related to talk, because they told me that they've never sold any car sitting into this car. We changed everything. We just tour around Finland, putting things in the car, making the tours. So we were focused on that. We put our targets in the project, and that was very concrete, and it was very successful. Nothing technology at that time, but really focused on the target, what you have. And this is what I want to point out. You must set the target. If you to get real attention, it might be that you do something really new and just to get the public exposure. But if you are really in the business, then that can be something totally different.
How do you measure then those campaign success? There are certain targets, and what are they used? Because it's an investment. So what is the return on them? What kind of metrics do you weigh them? Could it be the media publicity, how many articles have been written, and if they have positive or negative tone, and could it be how many people bought Kia cars after that, and so on? Or how do you measure what after? Give us some ideas into what our brands looking and what kind of metrics they're following to evaluate the success of different sponsorship deals.
It's about the target. Why are you doing this? If you're trying to improve the image of the company, then we have to measure the exposure. How many hits did you get in social media? Also the image and all these numbers are then in this particular case important. And if you really want to go deep, then you should do an interview people before and that's always good. Or just to take a different group who has or exposed to your sponsorship and the people who aren't, and make the comparison. Does it have any effect? This is very effective, and it also requires have to invest doing the research if that's something that you to go.
Exactly, and it's not a one-off thing that you sponsor one event and your brand is on the pedestal, everybody. So tell us a little bit about the being consistent, working together with certain, because this really becomes a partnership eventually, and this can have an impact in the long term, right? So is it important for brands to have some partnerships over the years, not to just do the one-off things and expect amazing results?
Of course. When you are doing a sponsorship events, you should think it depends. If we take, for example, that we work, you have one movie, it comes, it goes, but it's a long term. Still, there are these event, all the possibilities for bringing people into the film scenes, and then you have the premiere, then you have the VOD. But if you really want to get the film industry and recognized as an industry, then you take several so that people know that, okay, and is in the film industry, even though there might be a different events inside that. But when you think of the sports events, then you should really focus on doing a long-term. First year normally just get to know who you are dealing with, can already utilize in a more effective way, and then it starts from there. Then you start to see it. Where is this going? You have the figures, you have the and you see the results better than if you're just doing one of the results. Where do you compare?
Yeah, and this is exactly event success management methodology. You always mark and see, we have this project, this event, we analyze all the metrics, and we take the learnings from this and the next one and to the next one. So there's a continuous growth and development. So there's a progression and evolution. I would like to ask you, because it came to my mind, another element also of the event success preaching, and I believe in, and very close to my heart. I've spoken with many academics in the event management European and level, and also from down under Australia and New Zealand, the top academics, and there's a need for in the importance of event portfolio, meaning that situations and companies, even for profit, non-for-profit, have an event portfolio in place. And I think that could tie very well with event sponsorship. If companies knew what events, first of all, they're organizing, and second of all, they're participating as guests and sponsors, they would, in the calendar year, a very holistic bird's eye view of what portfolio we're having here, which events were sponsorship, which events. So I think that would be something that perhaps, do you a clear idea in your mind that have you found companies who have a view of their event portfolio? What events they're doing in the whole year, come as ad hoc, like, yeah, every department who does event, they do different things.
No.
Other companies who have a clear view of their event portfolios?
Yes, there are. I would say that all the biggest brands, they have a clear vision of what kind of events they are doing, and they have the calendar. Okay, we have fixed already this. Okay, and it's this time particularly kind of crazy because we have and yeah, because we have a lot of events now packed in this, for example, and then there we have brands who have already signed in many of these events. Then we will. Where is the room for all of these events? But yes, to your question, there are brands, major brands, exactly, or there are some flexibility, but mainly they know that, okay, these events, we need this amount of events if we are talking about consumer brand. And of course, then when we come to the industrial side, which is where the money is, in many cases, you know where to go, how do you are going to be there, and plans many years beforehand.
And these are only for the top of the iceberg, you said. So I think under the surface, there's a lot of companies that have to work even portfolios. Maybe they don't have so much money giveaway, but I think it's still important, and I advise everybody to keep their event intact in mind. And because it could be a smaller friends football club that come and ask you that could we participate, can we get sponsored by you? Risto, I would like to one key question that absolutely I don't want to leave unanswered. It's been on my mind and in many people's mind, how to ensure, because event participants now. So we talked about brands, we talked about the runners, but how about event participant? How an event organizer can ensure that attendees experience, we are talking about sponsored event, they have their best interest at heart, so that the attendees don't commodities. We're being sold now, and we are the metrics. We are what's about. How do you address it in your company and you personally? Attendee and the participant is at heart.
First of all, the sponsorship should support the experience what the attendees are having in the event. It disturb, like it should never feel okay. This is what now they are
out of
because especially Finns don't have someone is trying to sell them something, but if you can add value somehow, if that's getting into the then you are getting some benefits in the venue. I think that for example, Red Bull did Ruisrock, very nice sponsorship when they just added lights for the people's bikes when you ride a bike. So they added value, and it was not okay that they were just trying to buy Red. But these kinds of examples that you add value for the experience are the best, absolutely.
Yeah. So do not, but to sum up what I hear from Risto Oksanen, do not disturb value to the experience. And I think that has to do also with this old versus new approach in event sponsorship. It's not about having the logo there of a brand in a manner that it's unironed and sloppily put, but really to add value here to the whole customer and event at the journey from when they come and check into your event and leave their code and restrooms to everything. I think the whole event has so many touch points that a great brand and I believe with your company you little bit this mapping as I understood right throughout the experience. So tell a little bit about this.
One thing what I want to point out there is that this is why it's important in time for in the planning, so that you can really plan all these things that what you are doing. Yeah, then you just have to see, of course, depending on the brand, what is the brand doing, what kind of value to the customer, and it can be whatever. It's so brand to brand. So, but it's about being early enough so you have time to plan what you will do, and you will do that.
That it doesn't come last minute.
No.
I had Oshnat monks here, the sisters in one of the sisters, and she asked me this question: measure, and what is the single most important metric when measuring event success in your opinion? One thing, what would it be?
There would be no target, what you said. That's thing.
All right.
And the target can be whatever. It can be image, it can be business, it can be sure. And whatever target that is the one that you
right. Is there, just to follow up to that, is there anything from your experience that it's good to regarding of the brackets, right? But you would you in most cases feel that we should measure up?
Again, I'm boring, but it comes to the needs of the brand. If you have brands like Neste, they don't need mind visibility because everyone knows what they are. But then a new product, and it can be that has to have certain effects on the clients, and then that is what you have to measure. You can measure everything, and you can get loads of data from every but often you get lost. What do I do with this this data?
Yeah, you get overwhelmed and then you do nothing.
Yeah.
And this is what I wanted to say, because the experience value score that has developed in their product is exactly that one metric, a North Star metric, that everything is changing around you, but the North Star remains constant.
Yeah.
And what the experience value score is measuring is the event participants' time. Was it worth it or wasted? So then was my time investment for me to come to your event, did I waste my time or was it worth it?
That's excellent. That's excellent.
So I think there I have next to you yellow, I think this experience value score, isn't it? Yes. So you can show a little bit that. So if you take a good read to insights for successful events, this is the experience value score. What we discussed is my time worth it or wasted. And then Risto, I would like to thank you for this podcast and being here in the podcast studio with me from the heart of Helsinki, Finland, going out to all of you out there listening. We spoke about the future of event sponsorship. We can sit hours and hours. And I think, are you going back to Kouvola now, or
not today?
Not today. Okay. I have to pick up my son soon. But before I let you go, in the next episode, next week, Wednesday at 12, I will have Monika Birkle, the senior lecturer in event management from Haaga-Heille University of Applied Sciences here in Finland. So since you answer now to Osnat's question, I want you to ask a question to my next guest. We will be discussing on the topic of educating future event professionals.
Yeah.
Be your question to Monika.
Well, first of all, thank you, Krista, for having me here. It was
My
a pleasure. The question I'd like to place is that how can you reduce no-show in online events?
Mm-hmm. And follow up to Monika, knowing her as a fellow former colleague, how you can reduce no-show to your students not attending classes. We can be great teachers and delivering great content, but still that's also a valid problem in education as well. We have no-shows and we want them to come there and study and learn more and do it eventually.
And you can also add hybrid events, not just hybrid events. How to prevent no-show?
How to prevent no-show. And I know Monika will have some good answers and insights because she's organizing a lot of events together with her students who study business and tourism, and they focus on event management. So Monika, you are up next here in the Event Success Inside podcast. So once again, Risto Oksanen with me. Thank you for joining this
much,
podcast. Krista. And before you go, I cannot reach out now, but I have some little presents for you. So here is the Luti Event Success Community Mug. You can drink your coffee there or tea. And then here it is. So I hope it's not krassa there.
No, this is great.
For your flat. So and then next there I have some leaflets and booklets you can read, and I have the Luti hoodie. If you can have it next to you in front of your chest there so we can see it, because I have a little challenge for my guests. Oh, so cute. Yeah. Here it is. So the challenge, Risto, is that in the next event you're attending, I would like you to wear this hoodie and take a selfie.
Okay.
And then text me that selfie back and say, what was it about? And then I might publicly share it as well. You don't have to wear it the whole time, but wear it for a few minutes, take a picture and tell Krista, hi, I'm in this and this event. And
Yeah, our sports events, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We love sports events.
This is, by the way, something that I would like to combine more, because people are talking about events and then you have sports events and they're not really in the same picture because they are doing the same things. Exactly.
They are. Absolutely. Big fan. So which sport event you're going next? Do you have any tickets or any?
Well, it
invitations?
Might be. It will be a football match.
Definitely. Should invite me. I'm from Greece, so big football fan here. I'm a little bit tired of ice hockey, to be honest. I don't get it. So great. Risto Oksanen, ladies and gentlemen, with me. This is the Event Success Insights podcast. And with Monika, we will be here Wednesday at 12 sharp. So thank you, Risto, and talk to you. Kisses. Bye.
Thank you, Krista. Bye-bye.
Bye.